And coming back to wisdom, and that was such a great point you made about how our heart's desire might not necessarily be God's best for us. I want to talk about chapter 5, in the book, a lot to take in there, sour lemons. It's one of my favorite chapters in the book. You talk about a lot to process, a lot to digest, but what I want to talk about is chasing Poppy. If you guys haven't seen Chasing Poppy, you can see it on YouTube. I did recently, and it's just one of those funny, sort of typical noughties movies, early noughties, kind of really light-hearted, and it stars Sofia Vergara in it as well.
Yes.
But you've been very honest in saying, because it was a secular Hollywood movie, that you did get backlash from the Christian community for it, and you've been so gracious in saying that the Christian community is your community.
Yes,
these are your brothers and sisters
in Christ. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So if something causes them sort of hurt, or whatever one wants to define it as, it's worth sort of reconsidering or thinking it through again. But of course, that was a prayerful decision before you committed to it, and you talk in the book about consulting your pastor as well. I think this is a great topic for us to discuss, because it's something that a lot of young Christians struggle with. Myself, you talk in the book about being a dreamer. I'm quite the dreamer myself, and I have that mindset that
you're in good company.
Yeah, good. You've got to dream it first, right? You have to have the vision in your mind. But I suppose the thing with that is, often a time, like we can go into something thinking, well, God is God over everything, and if we're doing it for His glory, if I'm doing this for Him, and I'm not compromising my morals or anything like that, why is that an issue? Why can't I just do it all, do secular, do Christian, and do it all for Him? And that's quite the struggle for a lot of Christians. But now, looking back on your decision and everything that happened with Chasing Poppy, is there any advice that you would give to those who are facing a similar dilemma at the moment?
I think you have to heed wisdom. You have to find godly wisdom. Listen. Then ask the Holy Spirit to either speak to you or to give you peace. A lot of times, walking in obedience, it means we're going to do something or not do something that we really want to or don't want to do. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Recently, my husband and I just went on staff at a church.
Okay.
Creative directors, small church. See, I grew up with parents or pastors. I used to see how difficult, how they had to miss my brother's performances. They were always at the church. And so I told God, I was like, I don't want to be a pastor's wife. I don't want to, be on staff at a church.
Yeah.
Because you have to miss everything. I don't want to miss my kids' stuff.
Yeah.
Because I saw that it bothered my brothers. So now fast forward about 8 months ago, 9 months ago. Yeah. Our pastor, Pastor Nathan, he came up to us and said, I really feel like I would like you guys to come on staff with us at the church. And so my husband looked over at me, of course. He's like, Jackie?
Yeah.
I was like, I have to pray about that. I'm not sure about this.
Good answer.
And so, because I told God, never, watch what you say. Never say never, because God just laughs. So, it took about, it took a month of me praying. And I was kneeling down in front of our white couch. And I remember just saying, Lord, I don't want to do this. So you're going to have to give me peace to make this decision, because I don't want to do this, but if it's what you want me to do, I will walk in obedience, but you're going to have to give me peace. So at the end of that prayer, I just felt a peace. I called my husband and said, okay, I feel a peace. Now, it does not mean that I want to do it, but I feel a peace, because walking in obedience is really what That's what we have to do. We have to. Okay, so as far as like doing secular versus Christian, you have to ask the Holy Spirit to show you, to guide you, to give you a peace. If you do not feel that peace, if there's something going around behind you, around you, where you're just like, where you feel that cringe factor from others or that others may have, if you don't feel complete peace from the Holy Spirit, then it's not for you.
Okay.
If you, but don't confuse your wants and your need for this with it's the Holy Spirit. That is dangerous.
Yeah.
So just if you're seeking the Lord, it'll be clear.
Fantastic. That's great advice. Thanks for that, Jaci. So peace, a recap on that, and I suppose if your decision makes others cringe, and these are people who love you and know you well.
Yes, the people that love you the most, that are older, wiser. Heed wisdom. I mean, throughout the Bible, heed wisdom. Ask those that are your elders, you know?
Absolutely. Great. Well, you touched on Nick, your wonderful husband, Nick Gonzalez.
He's so sweet.
I remember him from his Lord, I Come Before You, Salvador. David, what a cool guy. And of course, you've got two beautiful sons as well, Zealand and Soren. So I mean, you talk about them in the book. And as we spoke earlier, and Zealand has autism. And there's a great story in the book about the pool incident.
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Of course.
Okay, great. Where he rescued a life.
I know. So what happened was we were at this event. It was like a party. It was an after party or a wrap party for a film I had just finished. And so they had this beautiful pool. So they invited all the families. It was like a barbecue kind of thing. And so this pool had like a slide that went down into the pool. And it even had like a gradual, like it was like, shallow into deeper kind of thing, gradual kind of playing, like a pool, like a beach. And so Zealand and Soren, my stepdad had been giving them lessons. We put them in lessons for swimming and stuff like that. For some reason, Zealand always swam with one arm. It was like he would leave this arm back here and he would just swim. I mean, he could get through the water, but it was like, why are you just swimming with one arm? And at this point, he was still developmental delay, that whole thing. But it was concerning because you don't want kids making fun of him too. Is that really could you possibly, hurt yourself? I don't know. All that stuff. So we're at this event and all of a sudden we're standing there, we're talking to his parents. And my husband looks at this little girl and he goes, can she swim? These were the parents that we were talking to. He goes, can she swim? And the dad was like, oh yeah, she can swim. She was about 5 or 6. And we turn around and keep talking. All of a sudden, my husband looks back. This girl is going under. She's underwater. And so Nick yells out to Zealand real quick. He's like, Zealand, go get that little girl. And Zealand is so obedient. Still to this day, so obedient. He's like, with his crazy one-arm swim, he swims over to her real fast, grabs her with his left arm, the arm that he never uses, because he's built up so much strength in this one. He didn't need this. So he rescued this little girl and brought her. The dad was during that moment, the dad was kind of shocked. He was taking his shoes off. Like most parents, you're like, just dive. But I think he just was shocked. It was
it's kind of
scary.
Flight or freeze. So
it's fight or flight. So, but Zealand, crazy one-arm swim, and he pulled that little girl out of the water. So a lot of times, something that looks different, looks like, this isn't for me. God can use that in your life. Sometimes he uses our pain to be sympathetic with others. Sometimes he can use our shame to remind others that you don't have to be ashamed. Take it to the cross. Sometimes he can use our fear to remind us that we have nothing to fear. So, and to trust in him even more and deeper.